We're ready for Illustrator number 5, and at the time that I'm recording this movie, all the things are not posted on Google Classroom, but they will be by the time you're watching this movie. There is a help page that will show up on Google Classroom, and it's going to tell you what we're working on here. This is about patterns, and we're going to do preset patterns and we're going to do custom patterns, and so I'm going to be showing that in this video. There is an artboard that is provided on Google Classroom. I'm not showing that part of it. I'm not showing the download part of it in this movie. We've done that several times now, so you're going to need to download the artboard that is connected to the assignment on Google Classroom, and then you're going to open that artboard in Illustrator. All right. Hopefully you've caught on to that by now because we've done it several times. Requirements on this one. There you'll see some circles at the top of the page, and you have to fill those with preset patterns, and that's quick and easy, and I'm going to show you how to do it. There are some boxes at the bottom of the page, and you're going to have to create custom patterns to fill those, and you create those yourself. That does take a little bit more time, and you have to do 5 different ones. And all right, and then I've got, some notes here about how to do the preset patterns and how to create a custom pattern. I am not going to read these notes to you because I'm going to show you in the movie, and saving is the last thing that's on the handout. So I'm going to get over here to Illustrator, and here's what the artboard looks like that I have posted for you on this assignment. It is posted on Google Classroom, so download this artboard and then open it up. This is just a reminder, this text box thing right here is just a reminder that you're going to want your swatches panel for this assignment. And the way you do that is you go to the window menu and then click swatches. I'll do that right now, window and swatches. And I have my swatches panel right here. You're going to need it. Now this text box right here, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. I don't really need that anymore. And I'll just park this swatches panel right in here. All right, now preset patterns are at the top. This is very much like the preset gradients on the previous assignment. So here's what you're going to do to complete this part of it. Go to the library button on the swatches panel. The library button is the bottom left-hand corner of the panel. I'm going to click that and then look for patterns. All right. Now once you get to patterns, if you go right here to patterns, you'll see that there are 3 different branches that you can follow. Basic and decorative and nature, and you make your own choice here. Choose your own adventure. Go to whichever one of those you want to. If I go to nature, there are 2 branches of that, animal skins and foliage, and so I'm going to pick animal skins, but again, you pick whatever you want. And if you go to decorative, there are a couple of branches there, and basic, there are a couple of branches there, so you can pick whatever you like. I'm going to go to animal skins right here, and a little panel pops up that says nature, animal skins, and it has different patterns. Patterns are not gradients. They are not the same thing. If you float your mouse over these, you'll see what they're called. Like this is peacock, and this is, once again, kind of like the gradients. It can be a drag and drop thing. That's a pattern right there. I didn't make that pattern. It was available in Illustrator. Now, like the gradient assignment that we did previously, you have to fill all 5 of these circles with a different pattern. And if you're thinking, for example, do you mean that I could take 5 different animal skins and just drag them and drop them and be done with this part of it? The answer is yes. You could do that if you wanted to. So, for example, if I said, well, let's see, let me take tiger and drop it here. Right, and I could take another one and drop it there. But if you're more adventurous and you want to explore more than just the animal skins or whatever you picked, you could go to the library button, you could go to patterns, and you could go get something different. I'll go to decorative, and I'll go to decorative legacy, and a whole new set of patterns pops up here. Now this little panel here has all the things I've been doing the last couple of days. It has like those metal gradients that I used in the previous assignment, and the fruits and vegetables, they're all there, but here's decorative legacy. All right, well, so you drag and drop, right? And drag and drop. Yay. These are patterns. Notice that they are different than gradients. And just for kicks and giggles, I'll just switch it up. I'll get something basic. I'll do some basic dots, and I'll just grab something like this and drop it here. All right. So 5 preset patterns. Those patterns all came out of the library patterns, and I got them all from there. That's what you do on the top part of this assignment. 5 circles filled with preset patterns. You did not make those yourself. They just came out of the library. Okay, very good. Now, on the custom patterns down here, you have to make them yourself. So I'm going to just kind of move this little panel out of the way, and I'll move this over a little bit as well. I'm just going to use some of this empty space to do this pattern construction here. All right, so here's how this works. To make a pattern, you can make a pattern out of anything you want. Let's start it off really, really, really simple. I'm going to go over here to the shape tool, right? And I don't know, I'll use it. I'll do a star. And I'm going to click once. Remember, with stars, this is the way I usually do it. There's other ways to do it, but I'm going to click once. I'm going to tell it I want 5 points. I'm okay with that. I'll just go ahead and click OK, and it's going to draw a 5-pointed star. I'm going to fill it with a different color. I think I'll fill it with yellow, and I might bump up a stroke weight a little bit. I'm going to take my black arrow tool and make that a little smaller. I don't want it quite that big, and I think I'm going to rotate it as well. So I'm going to do some rotating until I get it kind of sitting the way I want. Yeah, that'll do. That'll be fine. Right now, when you do the patterns, I don't think you want whatever object you're going to build your pattern out of. You don't want it to be super big. All right, keep it kind of small. See how I made like a small star right here? Okay, maybe just a little bit more. I'm kind of trying to get that to sit flat. All right. Anyway, so I've got my star. So here comes the way you make these patterns. You select it. You have to make sure it's selected. Okay, I've got it selected. And I'm going to go to the object menu up here. I'm going to find pattern. I'm going to go to make. It's object, pattern, make. That's on the handout, on the help page. I'm showing it to you right now. Object menu, pattern, make. And I'll just click on make. It's going to say a new pattern has been added to your swatches panel. You could tell that if you find this message to be annoying after a while, you could say don't show me this again. Right? But I'm just going to click OK. So now it kind of goes into a little bit of a different screen here. You get this pattern options window that pops up, and it's showing you what your pattern would look like right now. Now, here's the thing about this. There's some options that I'm going to show you over here. You can kind of play around with some options on the pattern options panel. But if you're thinking, well, I like it the way it is, up at the top there's a button that says done. And whenever you are done building your pattern, then that's what you do. You come up here and you click done up here at the top. I'm showing you right now where that done thing is. Okay, well, but let's look at some options. You could name it if you want to. You don't have to name it, right? I could call this stars. You know, that's up to you. And then right here on the tile type where it says grid, there are other options. There's brick and hex, and you can brick by row, brick by column, hex by row. So if I brick by row, and you see what it does, look at the sample that's giving you. It offsets every other row a little bit, and it makes the pattern look a little bit different. If I do brick by column, it kind of offsets it up and down instead of sideways. I could do hex by column, hex by row, and you have all of those different options. Okay. Now you can also, if you want to, you can click here where it says size tile to art, and you can add some horizontal and vertical spacing. That's what H spacing and V spacing means. So right now it has assigned like no spacing to it at all. I could say, well, let's put in, I don't know, 20 points of, I'm going to hit the tab key, and did you see it spread out there? That was just horizontal spacing. I didn't put any vertical spacing in there. I could put 20 points of vertical spacing and it spreads out some more. Now, I don't know that I really want that much. I might, and you don't have to have any spacing at all if you don't want it, right? I'm going to take it down to 5 points and 5 points, and you know, that's up to you. If you haven't caught on in this class, I like for you to get in there and experiment and play around and do, things that you think, okay, yeah, that looks cool. All right, so now I'm going to say, well, okay, so I've got this all done, right? I gave it a name. You don't have to give it a name, and I did brick by column, and I clicked this little size tile to art thing so that I could add in some spacing here, and I'm going to come up to the top and click done. Now, I don't know if you remember what that first box that popped up said. It said that a new pattern has been added to your swatches panel. Oh. So over here on my swatches panel, I'll pull this over a little bit. There's a new pattern. There's my stars pattern right there. And I can drag it and drop it, and bingo. So see, I made that pattern. That pattern did not exist until I made it. So let's do it. I'm going to go faster here, but let's do another example. What if I want to, I'm going to make a little pattern. I'm going to draw a little perfect circle. I want that perfect circle to be filled with a purple color, and I want no stroke on it. So I'm going to take the stroke value all the way down to 0, so it just looks like this. It's just a purple dot. That's all it is. See, these do not have to be complicated. You can make patterns out of anything. So here's what I would do if I want to make a pattern out of that purple dot. Select it, go to Object, Pattern, Make. I'm going to click OK on this box. It says new pattern has been added to the swatches panel. OK. Here's what it looks like right now. I could brick it if I want to. If I click that little size tile to art, I could add some spacing if I want to. Maybe I won't this time. Maybe I'm not going to add any spacing this time. So this is what my pattern looks like. Whenever you think, okay, yeah, this is good, I like it, I'm going to come up here and click done. And where did it go? Where'd that pattern go? It's on my swatches panel. It's right here. It's this little, I didn't give it a name this time. I just left it as new pattern. So I'll just drag it and drop it, and there it is. I created that little purple dot pattern. So home stretch, I'm going to go quick. You can make patterns out of anything. What if I took the paintbrush and I make a little, I make some kind of little squiggle with the paintbrush. I don't even know if this is going to look any good, but I just made a little like stroke with the paintbrush. And remember, the paintbrush paints with a stroke, not with a fill. So if I want that to be some different color, I have to change the stroke color. So I took that little squiggle and I changed it to a green color. Now I'll go to Object, Pattern, Make. I'll click OK here. And that's what it looks like right now. Right? Now I could click in here and I could even change the size of that. I could kind of play around with even in the middle of making the pattern, I can click on that squiggle that I made, and I can kind of play around with what it looks like, and then I could do like bricking or hexing if I want to, but you know what? I kind of like it as a grid this time. And so whenever you feel like, okay, yeah, I've got a pattern that I'm happy with, you come up here and you click done, and it always is going to get added to your swatches panel. That's why you need the swatches panel. And so I'm going to take that pattern and just drop it on there. And so that's what that one looks like. I don't think that's a fabulous pattern, but whatever. So yeah, you can, get creative. Like, what if I came along here? Let's see, I'm going to, what if I came along here and I drew a little circle that I'm going to make the stroke black and the fill yellow, and then just take the paintbrush here and just kind of go doink. Well, sorry, I didn't get my paintbrush. That's a really bad mouth, but it'll work for now. All right, so actually what I did here was I built a little smiley face thing, right? It's a circle with some paintbrush things to make kind of like a little smile. So I select all of that, take the black arrow and select it, right? Get all of it selected. Black arrow, select all of it. Object, Pattern, Make. Click OK. And there it is. There's my little smiley face pattern, and I could hex it or brick it or whatever I decide I want to do. This time I might add a little bit of spacing to it. And if I come up here and click done, all right, so see, the thing I want you to see, you can make a pattern out of anything. Just keep it small. You don't want a pattern made out of some great big object. That's not going to work well. All right, so I'm going to hit done. Where do all the patterns go? You go on the swatches panel. So here it is right here. I could drag it and drop it, and bingo, little smiley face pattern. Last thing I'm going to show you here is that you can also make patterns out of text. I don't know. Let's say that you are a Purdue fan. Oh, here's what I'll say if you're a Purdue fan. All right. Purdue fans will know what that is, and you can change the font, of course. Let's say I come along here and I use this font. You know, you don't want it to be too big, and you can make it any color that you feel like you want to make it. You know what? I'm going to go here to there's a whole bunch of color swatches here, and I'm going to get like a gold color there. Boiler up. Let's put a little stroke on that. All right, there we go. It's text, right? That's what I'm just showing you. It's text. And I can go object, pattern, make, and OK. That's what it looks like right now. I could brick it or hex it if I want to. I could click done. That pattern got added to my swatches panel. And I made a pattern out of text. And you can do that as well. So get creative. I want to see what you can do on these custom patterns here. I'm done, so I'm going to close up my panels here. I'm just going to close those up. And these little objects that are laying around here that I use to build my patterns with, you can leave. I don't care if you just leave them there, or you could delete them once you could take all these and just delete them, get rid of them if you want to, because they're already in the pattern, so they're good. Anyway, now you would go ahead and save on your computer. Pay attention to where you're saving it, right? Whether you're going to stick it in, like, if you're connected to your Google Drive, save it on your Google Drive. If you have Google Drive on there, do that. But you can save it in documents or whatever, and you might want to put the word done. Didn't really mean to have that caps lock, but right. And if you see this box right here, click OK. That is the assignment of the day right there. 5 preset patterns, 5 custom patterns. Off you go.